This is Goku's son DBZ, and here is the special third comic book review I was talking about. This is a special series, of course, done back in the 90s. This is called Peter Parker Spider-Man, number 93. And yes, this issue obviously features Ghost Rider, which is actually quite cool. I picked this up, actually, at the anime convention last weekend, with a couple of other comics that I'll probably review in the future. Now, this was a bunch that they had actually on sale at 50 cents a piece, which is a very good deal, especially at some really good classic comics. One thing that stood out to me is the actual texture of this particular comic is a little different texture-wise than normal ones. Of course, we have here Thing of Swelling Fire, obviously. And one thing about 90s was the art style was a little different. Like a lot of your comic book artists of the 90s, with the exception of a few at Marvel, tried to copy a lot of style of my personal favorite comic book artist of all time, Todd McFarlane. But I give points, at least, to a lot of Spider-Man. At least he tried to go away and not continue copying Todd McFarlane's style, though I loved his style. But it was nice he wasn't copying. And here we have an interesting advertisement for Game Boy Color with the Game Boy camera and Game Boy printer, which was very interesting. They had a thing saying like a song tune to it in the 90s saying, "Smile, you're on Game Boy camera." Very cheesy, but in the 80s and 90s that kind of stuff worked very well. As you can see, the art is actually quite nice, and for the most part it's aged pretty well. And unlike some stuff like in the 80s, this particular comic, obviously you can tell, hasn't been discolored as much as a lot of the 80s, and overall the coloring and art design has aged a lot better in a lot of ways, unlike a lot of your 1980s type comics and some of your other 90s comics. This one has just aged a lot better than others. And of course there is Ghost Rider, which sadly did not have the best move live action. And here's an awesome 2-page advertisement for, on the PS1, Final Fantasy Tactics. So this comic most likely is from around late, I would say around late 97 would be my guess, given the ads in it. I haven't actually looked at the copyright date on the comic, so I'm not sure exactly how old it is. But if so, if that is correct, then this comic's at least probably around 18 years old. And it looks quite good for 18 years old. It's been very well taken care of, as you can tell. And as I mentioned, I can't praise enough how good condition and how wonderful the artwork is. Especially with Ghost Rider. Because at this time was, I believe, around a time when they had like him reborn again for a future Ghost Rider series. Now it's pretty cool when you can find some of these like crossover type issues, obviously, with Spider-Man. That's the thing, Spider-Man's done so many different crossovers. But that's because Spider-Man is the flagship, really, of Marvel Comics, like Batman is of DC Comics. And of course, Ghost Rider is using, since he knows he'll survive the bomb explosion, Spider-Man's using his webbing to create a creative protective barrier so the explosion doesn't kill everyone else. And obviously, through the explosion stuff, Ghost Rider survives and dries off. And at the end, somehow, he tries to link J. Jonah Jameson obviously tries to link Spider-Man and Ghost Rider to it. And of course he says, I can't catch a break. And then Mary Jane right there says, hate to say I told you so, but... Well, there's Mary Jane's sarcasm. And that was issue number 93 of Peter Parker's Spider-Man. And on the back we have a little milk advertisement, of course, of, at that time, our dear beloved Buffy. And I hope you enjoyed this special comic book review. Let me know if you'd like me to do any future special, like, third comic book reviews other than my normal two. And, of course, follow me at twitter.com/GokuSunDBZ and also at googleplus.com/GokuSunDBZ. And also, if you're into, like to talk ever on Facebook with me, actually, or other people like-minded with, like, that love anime, comic books, video games, actually, I have my own fan group on Facebook with like-minded people. And I will have to read up, and next video I will put a link so you can find the group. So let me know if you all would be interested. Of course, thumbs up my video, subscribe, and share my reviews with any other like-minded people you think might enjoy my comic book reviews, top 12 lists, or any other types of reviews. Just let me know. And I always enjoy feedback. So, until next time, hope everyone has a good week.